Hired is a marketplace approach to recruiting. It's basically a recruitment platform that's a bit like a Match.com for developers and for data scientists, product managers, and designers, as well as salespeople in the US. So it's a marketplace approach.
Cool. And tell us that how is it disruptive in the market?
Yeah, so Hired is quite different from the way that people normally find a job. So the way that people find a job normally is either through their friends and network, or they go and see a recruiter who's working with a number of companies to see
Mm-hmm.
what's out there. The way that Hired works is actually candidates apply to be on our platform. They get then
Mm-hmm.
curated, so we're only showing the sort of top 5 to 10% of candidates. So we do
Okay.
a filtering for quality and intent. And then candidates go live on the platform and they sit back and companies make interview requests to them looking for whatever they're interested in. So from a candidate point of view, it's all about them being in control of their experience and having a great experience on the platform. And then
Hmm.
from the company point of view, it's very disruptive because it's much more efficient, it's much faster process, and they get to access only candidates that they're actually interested in.
How many candidates you have today in the platform?
So we've had over 13,000 applicants in the UK right now, and we're getting
Wow.
roughly 3 to 5,000 applicants every month from the UK and Europe. In the US, actually, the numbers are much bigger. It's
Hmm.
sort of between 14 and 17,000 applicants a month.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we look for the top 5 to 10% of those candidates and put them live on the platform.
Hmm. And how's the application process? How do you choose who gets into the platform?
So everyone has a CV, and the CV doesn't tell you a huge amount about the person. So what
Mm-hmm.
we've done is we've created hired profiles. So candidates, when they apply to the platform, obviously they put in their CV, their work experience, their education. We also encourage them to connect, their GitHub account so people can look at their code base, or their Dribble account to look at their design,
Mm-hmm.
and create summaries in their profile, which give an indication of what the candidate's done in the past, projects they're
Mm-hmm.
proud of, and most importantly, what they want to do in the future, including preferred base salary, the size of company they're interested in, and where they want to locate. Because what we're trying to do with the platform is create upfront transparency and alignment,
Okay.
so everyone finds a job that's right for them.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned you focused on candidate experience. What are some of the benefits they obtain by applying through Hired?
Yeah, from the candidate point of view, lots
Yeah.
of lots of benefits. So first of all, candidates who get through our sort of curation process get paired with somebody internally called a talent advocate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pretty unique role to hire. Essentially, the talent advocate's job is to act like a careers coach for the candidate. They can advise them about opportunities they're looking at on platform and ones they're looking at off platform in a completely neutral way. The talent
Mm-hmm.
advocate isn't compensated or assessed on any sort of hiring metrics. They're only assessed by the candidates based on their experience. We use something called Net Promoter Score to do that. But the talent advocate could also do nice things for the candidate, like book them Ubers to take them to interviews. They can help them prepare their profile, sell themselves. We're all really bad at selling
Mm-hmm.
ourselves because we get a bit sort of uncomfortable
True,
with that.
true.
And then we actually do things like we give candidates a box with a bottle of champagne when they get hired, and we actually give candidates a bonus of $2,000 or £1,200 when they get hired through the platform. So lots of nice goodies for candidates when they're on the platform.
Cool. That explains the growth you've had in the last months. That
Yeah.
explains it. And as for companies, who are you working with? And how
Oh,
many companies do you have on board?
yeah. So, I mean, globally, we're working with almost 4,000 companies. In the UK, we have roughly around 400 companies we're working with, everyone from large companies like Facebook and the Financial Times, Betfair, to high growth companies like World Remit, TransferWise,
Hmm.
Market Invoice, and then some really early stage companies as well. So the full breadth, but there's both, the more traditional companies who are looking to move into the digital space and the sort of more disruptive tech companies on there. So pretty much something for everyone.
Yeah, no, it's pretty diverse. And what are the main benefits they obtain by working through Hired instead of working through a traditional recruitment company?
Yeah, so Hired is much more efficient for companies. First of all, they're only seeing the top 5% of candidates, so they're not having to wade through the noise of CVs that they're receiving. Secondly, they can actually see much more information on the candidate's profile about what they're looking for. So they know there's going to be a fit, both from the
Hmm.
candidate's expectations point of view, but also from the point of view of the company culture. You can see whether or not this candidate prefers working as an individual, whether they prefer working as part of a team. That kind of information
Hmm.
is
It's
invaluable.
crucial,
And
yes.
then finally, the time to hire, because all communication happens directly with the candidate through the platform,
Mm-hmm.
it's a much more efficient process.
What are the main problems, the main obstacles companies are finding when trying to find and recruit talent? Since demand is growing, by the minute.
Absolutely. There is a challenge because so many companies out there want to hire particularly technical talent, so digital talent.
Mm-hmm.
And although supply is growing, we see real problems for companies with getting visibility on the supply. If you want to you hire people from Europe and the US and you sit in the UK, then you normally have to engage recruitment agencies across the world, or you have to spend a lot of time and energy sourcing candidates through LinkedIn or
Mm.
other sources. And actually, just on the developer's point of view, not all developers have LinkedIn profiles, so it's quite challenging. I also think one of the challenges for companies is the time to hire. You know, that's a big problem for a lot of companies. They move too slowly, and you know, the average time to hire on our platform is 19 days. The fastest
Mm.
hire that we've seen on the platform in the UK, at least, was last week, which was a 4-day process. The
Wow.
candidate went live on a Monday and they signed their offer on the Thursday. Now, that's unusual, and it shouldn't put companies off, but it does show that because everything's much more efficient, you get access to the candidate very quickly and you can engage them very quickly.
Hmm. Yes, it's about optimizing the selection process, efficiency, as it, yes. And you mentioned the US and you mentioned the UK. In what cities are you present at the moment?
Right, so we're in the UK. We're also in the US, as you mentioned, in 13 cities. So uh, the Bay Area, San Francisco, LA, Denver, Seattle, Chicago, New York, Atlanta, sort of all four corners in the
Mm-hmm.
center of the US, including Austin. And then we recently opened a Toronto office, so we're now
Oh,
open in
okay.
Canada. And we're currently, you know, exploring opportunities in other parts of Europe. We're close to opening other offices across Europe, and also looking at Singapore and Australia right now. So
Wow,
global is the
okay.
next step for us.
Hmm. And what does the future hold for Hired? Because I see you have lots of expansion plans going on.
We do. So obviously, as I mentioned, so geographic expansion
Yes.
is a big part of our current strategy. We're also looking at moving into other verticals. So as I mentioned, we currently do technical talent across the platform. In the US, we also do sales talent, so account managers,
Mm-hmm.
business development, sales development reps. And we're moving that to the UK, so we'll be offering also the sales vertical in the UK. But the plan obviously is to start offering all the different verticals. You know, if you want to find marketing professionals, you'll find them at Hired. If you want to find the top finance professionals, you'll find them at
Mm-hmm.
Hired. That's our ultimate plan. I mean, if when we think about our goal as a company, we want to help millions of people find a job they love, and that's what drives us every single day.
Hmm. Awesome. And can you give us a hint? What's the next vertical you're going to focus on?
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of demand from our clients, which is how we make decisions internally. So we're hearing a lot of demand for marketing professionals. Now, I
Okay.
think that's, you know, there's still some discussion internally. We still need to do a little bit more research, but that's what we hear a lot of need for. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we end up going.
Marketing it is then. Okay, great, Sophie. Thank you so much for letting us know about Hired. Been great talking to you,
And
and
you, and you.
goodbye.
Bye.